Hello, welcome to Right Track 19. I'm Paul Marshall-Potter, sitting with me is Paul Lunn, and we're going to do a presentation for you on layout planning and design. The layout you see in front of you, we're going to take you through several stages, including the early design of it, why it's the shape it is, the height it is, a number of different iterations that I quite liked, and there are at least two of them that I may actually build in the future.
If you met me at an exhibition, you'll know one of the first things I do is to take you through a checklist of the sort of things that you might like to have, want to have, need to have in your layout. Already I'm starting to think, if we exaggerate that curve a little bit, we've got a great L-shaped layout there. If you don't want to go down that path, we've got a straight layout there. If you're thinking N-gauge maybe in a long room, we can get that in a straight format. Similarly, we can get that in a straight format. We could bring the canal load around so it's in front of the exchange sidings, and in actual fact then the exchange sidings become a non-scenic section with a split back scene here, and again a straight format in terms of baseboard.
So that is how the crane looks now, and again we've still got plenty of room for vehicles to run behind them, plenty of clearance over them, above them. Road vehicles can come in and around and depart, and two tracks to load from, as well as this back track here. You could also load from a forklift truck. So you have to assume we've got another inch or so of depth on the layout. You can then put the gable-ended buildings in, but because the trees again are diffusing the fact that you can't see down the length of the building, these gable-end buildings work. As you look into this, you get the very real impression that there's a townscape behind the foreground houses here. And that's what these buildings do. They give the impression that the trains and the scenery goes to somewhere. The foreground line here is a kickback siding, and again this isn't seen by the lay public with the blinds up, but as you look at the layout from the left hand end and you look down here, you can just see through the buildings here, and you get the impression that this line actually goes off somewhere to a siding. The train now coming onto scene is a very typical Forest of Dean train. It's Bury Wiggins bitumen train, and these used to run up the forest into Whimsey at Cinderford. It was one of the trains I wanted to capture because it was so iconic of the pictures of Ben Ashworth in the Forest of Dean. It's been very useful in setting the scene both in terms of era with this British Rail pannier and these wagons and the livery on the wagons, for putting it in the era and the location of being Forest of Dean in the late 1950s.